Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am here with my good friend and amazing management assistant, Carol Morgan, who's going to help me through this. We're going to have a lot of questions coming through on chat, and so too much for me to handle while I'm channeling. So Carol's going to be in charge of you guys. I'm going to be in charge of the channeling. So I want to welcome all of you that are new to this format. Many of you have seen me channeling on recordings on YouTube. I have access to the 1,000-person webinar on Zoom, and that's where you are right now. This is not on YouTube. The recording will go up on YouTube, and those of you that have registered will receive an email with the link to that recording within a day or so of this. So we wanted to try this because of the COVID situation, feeling that many people would have questions, and just trying some new stuff with some new technology that we're signed up for. So I'm going to hand it over to Carol, and she'll give you some pointers on what we're going to do today.
Thank you, Tina, and welcome everybody. It's great to be here. Really, really fun. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, even if you're not in this continent. It's always good to celebrate Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. As Tina mentioned, this is the first time that we do this. So in advance, we say, please be patient if we have any technical difficulties. We hope that there are none. And also, we want to let you know that the idea for today is to allow the non-members to ask questions and to get some exposure to Tina's work. So we're going to try to focus on answering the questions for non-members. Please know that there were hundreds of questions that came in, so we'll have to just pick and see how things go. But we are also going to open up for people to come in and be able to ask their question live. So we'll play with that and see how it goes. So hopefully everybody is going to really enjoy this today. We want to ask you when you're interacting, whether it's in the chat or whether you are coming to speak live, that you be respectful. This is a safe, loving, and supporting environment. So if your comment is going to be not in alignment, please reserve it to yourself. And that's about it. Please be very brief if you're going to ask a question live, to be respectful for everybody's time. And also keep the questions general. The private questions are better left for a private session. It's important to leave them open in general so that everybody can benefit from them. So that's it. Tina, are you thinking that you want to start with an opening statement?
Yeah, we'll do an opening statement from Jesus, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, things are falling apart here. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we are very pleased that you have all decided to join us today in this live streaming event. This being does live streaming events on a regular basis, and we were encouraging her to do this one for the public so that you could all have an experience of the live streams that she offers on a regular basis in her community. You are here because you are curious. You are here because you are worried, perhaps. You are here because you want to challenge this channeling business. What we want you to know is that we are only disseminators of information. We are disseminators of information. You have free will. You all are sacred beings who are made in the image of God. What does that mean? It means that you are creative. It means that you are powerful. It means that you have the free will to decide on the kind of experience you would like to have on this journey into your current incarnation. This journey, this current incarnation is indeed a challenging one for everyone on earth. Why is it a challenging one for everyone on earth? Well, this is what we call the end of a spiritual season. It is a grand ending to a great phase of evolution that you have heretofore been uneducated about. In your education systems, you are constantly drawn to the material. You are drawn to money. You are drawn to jobs. You are drawn to the physical world as the creator of everything. And what we want you to understand as the powerful creators you are, the physical world is the end result of your creative powers. The world is not creative in and of itself. Those beings that are made in the image of God, humans, are the creators of this experience. So you are all having a collective experience that is the end result of thousands and millions and billions of thoughts, beliefs, ideas, and emotions manifesting into what you see as physical reality today. This world did not get this way by accident. It is what we call the ego's playground. It is where all of your fears, limiting beliefs, and ideas manifest so that you can see them. Because, why? Because you are unaware of them. You are unaware mostly of your fears, your limiting beliefs, your resentments. You are going through life with a social face, and this is the person that you present at your place of employment and your family. But seething, and we use that word intentionally, seething beneath the social face that you present are all of your fears, your resentments, your angers, the things you have repressed, the aspects of you that you have controlled. All of those things are still creative. They are generating thoughts. And if you believe those thoughts, they are generating behaviors. So it is from your beliefs that your behaviors come. You cannot change the world until you change the mind that is holding the beliefs. And this is why we bring this work through. We do not bring this work through to scare anybody. We do not bring these messages through to confuse anybody. What we do is we bring these messages through this being so that you understand the laws of creation, which is that you are experiencing that which you believe in. So as you look at this situation in which you find yourself, what are most of you experiencing? Most of you are experiencing a feeling of powerlessness or not having control over your lives. This is because you believe that you are powerless. This is because you believe that you have no control, when in actual fact you do. You all are manufacturing your life experience, thought by thought, feeling by feeling, belief by belief. There are some beings in this COVID experience that are having tremendously negative experiences. There are beings within this COVID experience that barely feel any loss of their freedom whatsoever, because they have been cultivating freedom. So our initial instructions here to all of you are, first of all, welcome. You are curious. You want some answers to some questions that you have. But secondly, we want to remind you that you are the creator of your own personal reality. You can be standing next to somebody in very almost identical situations, and you will be having a completely different internal experience than they are. Because your belief systems, the world concept that you hold, the self-concept that you hold is completely different from them. So when you are at a grocery store and you are feeling empowered and happy and confident, unafraid of sickness, and you are seeing people who are cowering behind their masks, the look of fear in their eyes, you are in the same situation as them, but you are having a different experience. And that's because you believe different things to be true. Your worldview is different than theirs. So this is about owning your own power. This is about understanding how transformation happens. And this is about also having compassion for those beings who are being driven mad by the beliefs that they hold. So one of the things that we want to offer up here is this a suggestion that whenever you see somebody who is cowering in fear, and you can see it in their eyes above their masks, send them love. Send them love, because they cannot behave a different way given the beliefs that they hold in their mind. It is simply impossible. Just as your behavior is coming from your beliefs, and that is why you are here today. You have a belief that says, there's something going on with this channeling, I would like to hear more. And so we welcome you all. We now will take a brief break, and our dear Carol will begin to offer up us the first questions. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. We have here a question from Teresa McCallagher. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly, Teresa. She is asking, many ACIM students support conspiracy theories of a secret evil cabal of wealthy individuals controlling the planet. My understanding of the course is that since a healed mind would see perfection in all, this belief system is ego projection. Can Jesus please provide some clarity?
It was me plugging my charger in. Okay, so this is basically speaking about the not pure nature of the non-dualistic teachings that are coming through right now. Okay, let's see what Jesus has to say. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. In these circumstances, we must meet you where you are. When A Course in Miracles was channeled, the material there is bringing forth the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is that you are all one. But all of you that are here in bodies believe you're separate. So if we come at you with only the ultimate truth and not the relative experience that you are having, you will not be helped. And this is what we are seeking to do right now. We are seeking to assist those beings who believe in separation. And all of you, we will tell you, all of you, whether you are a Course in Miracles student or not, if you are in a physical body on this earth plane, you believe in separation. Your body is a demonstration of your belief in separation. So even though we are bringing forth material through A Course in Miracles teachings, which says you are all one, you are all connected, you are living an illusion, those beings that are believing in the illusion have to have somebody come and help take them step by step through the evolution, the consciousness evolution that is required to take you to oneness, or the awareness of oneness, because you don't ever lose your connection to everything, all that is. You only appear to lose it in the dream of separation that you are all engaged in. So what we are doing now is we are stepping down, let us say, in frequency, and that's what we have to do to come into a channeling situation like that. This being raised her frequency up high enough that we could come down and meet her, but we still come down, and we can talk about oneness all you want. We can talk about eternity all you want, but people who are locked up at home alone in their apartments are not going to listen. They are not going to listen. So it is the same as a drug counselor who may sit in their office and say, well, I am going to teach sobriety. People must come to me and we will have these sobriety meetings. The heroin addict that is shooting up on the street is not going to find that community worker. The community worker must go to the street and sit down on the filthy pavement next to the heroin addict and make a relationship with them, so that there is a possibility that they will be able to help them get help. So that's how we'd like you to look at it. The community outreach worker does not believe in the heroin addict's world. They do not want that person to stay in that world, but they must go to that world to give them assistance. And so this is what you are seeing happening at this time, because of the third dimensional crisis that your world has come into. Everybody is doing their very best to communicate in the way that they feel is the most helpful. Now, this being has been sharing much information about what you would perhaps call conspiracy theories, but this information that she is sharing is actually happening. It is not conspiracy theory, it is conspiracy fact. For example, the negative ingredients in your vaccines, the fact that they are not tested, the fact that they are free from prosecution. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy fact. Even though people listening to this person posting those things may call her a conspiracy theorist, our dear one is under no illusion that she is a conspiracy theorist. She only ever posts facts. So this is about interpretation. And of course, there are 7.7 billion different interpretations, further demonstration of your belief in separation. So as a Course in Miracles student, if you are quote unquote offended by a Course in Miracles teacher sharing facts of what is happening, that is your work to do. Now, in terms of true non-dualism, the facts don't matter, but we are here to assist humanity from the streets, sitting there shooting up their drug, to healing, to oneness, to the reintegration of their minds. And we must use the language that you understand. It is very clear that you cannot communicate to somebody if you speak a different language. If you go to Japan and you do not know any Japanese, you are not going to be able to communicate. If you learn some Japanese and go to Japan, you are not compromising your beliefs. You are not lessening yourself. You are merely saying, to communicate, I must use a language they understand. And so this is what you're seeing transpiring now with some Course in Miracles teachers, this one in particular. We have been guiding her to post that which is factual so that beings have an opportunity to hear what is happening on the ground, so to speak. Why? Because your mass media systems do not do that. They are only giving one side of the story of the manifestations that are transpiring on your planet at this time. The manifestations that are transpiring on your planet at this time are important for beings to understand so that they can make sound long-term decisions. If you are getting a small piece of information that does not give you the entire story, the decisions you make are going to be influenced inaccurately. If you have a broad spectrum of information and then you get to make your decisions, you are going to make a better choice because you have a lot of information. So this is the idea of conspiracy theory has been developed as a great insult, and many people take it as that. What we take it as is the language of fear, which is that there are new ideas coming out. There are beings standing up saying, I would like to share this information, and the new ideas are going against the deeply ingrained and programmed systemic information that most of you have grown up with. And what happens in a mind when new information comes in is the old structure that the ego mind has built does not want the new information to come in. It sees it as a threat because it destabilizes the mind. So when you have a system of indoctrination and education such as you do in the West, through your mass media systems, your education programs, what you have are minds that are, we would say, insulated from a broad spectrum of information. When this new information comes in, the mind then asks you, you have to choose between the old information and the new information. So what the mind will immediately try to do is get rid of the new information because it is so comfortable with the old information. And this is what you are seeing happening on the ground these days. We are coming at this from a purely non-dualistic point of view. We are, however, using your modern day language and the language of your communication systems. So we want you to understand that if new information comes in and it makes you upset, that's because it's counter to beliefs that you already hold. As you know, humans can hold beliefs that are not true, believing they are true. So when we bring forth information that upsets you or that rattles your cage, as our dear one likes to say, it is because the beliefs that you have in your mind are counter to what we are saying. And that means that you have to choose. Are you going to keep the beliefs that you have so that your mind can be at peace? Or are you going to temporarily put down your beliefs, listen to new ideas, listen to new education, and see how that sounds? But initially, most people's minds will want to refuse the new information because it is distressing to the mind to have combative ideas present and active at the same time. You all have conflicting ideas. You all have beliefs in your subconscious mind that are disagreeing with each other. What does this produce in you? It produces unpredictable emotions. You can have a very good day, a very good moment, and then you're down in the dumps. Then you get happy again, and then you get sad again. This is because you are going from belief to belief, and it is producing the effect of inconsistent emotions, mixed emotions. Now, many of you are going through this because of the new influx of information that's coming in through your social media systems. Many of you are educated in the mainstream. You have been watching the mainstream. Even though we tell you not to watch the mainstream, many of you do watch the mainstream. And so what's happening is this mixture of new ideas is coming in, and your mind is having to try and decide and discern what it wants to align with. And this is why many are feeling chaotic right now. This is why many are feeling overwhelmed right now, especially when you don't understand how the mind works and you don't understand how your belief systems cause you to feel. The most important thing for now is to not believe everything you think, because what's happening with this situation, this lockdown situation, this global emergency, is that you are being, beliefs that you have not normally, you do not normally have awareness of them, are being triggered and brought to the surface. So you are getting a lot of beliefs activated at the same time, which means that many of them which do not agree are going to be battling with each other for supremacy. The mind is asking you to choose, and this is why many of you are having trouble. So as far as Course in Miracles students go, we want you to understand that you are having a human experience within this 3D plane right now, and you are being given information so that you can make sound choices. Now, of course, we can go on and on. We are going to end that answer there. We could talk for hours on this subject. So we will end that question there and take a little break.
Gotta love them.
I could feel him. He just wanted to go, wanted to go on.
Thank you so much, Tina. Okay, so for everybody, I have been trying to figure out a way to get me out of the screen and just leave Tina. I have not been able to do it. So for now, we're going to go with me being here. I apologize. I will figure it out for next time. So, okay, let's see. We have a question from Lynn Lee. How about we bring Lynn Lee to ask her question? Let me see if I can do this. In the meantime, Tina, you can rest your voice. Okay. Actually, let's go with her question. I will figure this out for the next one. Lynn is asking, throughout your autobiography, you referred to being creative. Can you explain a little about what it means to be creative?
Okay. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And of course, I open with this so that you remember that you are blessed beings indeed. Blessed beings because you have been made in the image of God, which means that you are innately creative. You are being creative all the time. Every thought you have is creative. Every strong feeling you have is creative. So we are expanding the definition of creativity here. Most of you think of creativity as painting or dancing or music, but we want to remind you that you have created your body. You have created your body as the vessel through which you will have this incarnation. Your body represents your belief in separation and your desire for your own experience. So your very presence here in physical form is a demonstration of your creativity. You wanted to come into this experience to have fun, to express yourself, to work out some things that you hadn't yet figured out in other incarnations. So just by existing, you are being shown the power of your creativity. The power of your creativity comes from spirit. It comes through the body. It is not the body. The body is the end result of creativity, and the actions of the body are also the end result of creativity. So your vital life force, which is that energy that animates your body, is the force that is now keeping your liver going and keeping your blood flowing and keeping your heart beating and keeping you breathing. None of these things do you have to think about. Thank goodness, you would never get anything done if you had to pay attention to all those things. But that is a form of creativity. And expanding out from that, your life is a demonstration of your creativity. The house you live in has come to you through the decisions and actions that you have participated in. The family that you live with or the people that you live with have come to you because of decisions that you have made. That is a demonstration of your creativity. So we want you to begin to see that your creativity is expansive and it is extreme. And the collective creativity of your society, the seeming 7 billion individuals that are appearing to live in bodies on this planet, you have come up with this system that is playing out right now. No, we didn't, you say. Yes, you did, we say. Every thought you have is creative. So every time someone has a thought that is something like this, I'm not going to say anything, I don't feel confident. That means that you are having a creative thought which says, I don't have power, I don't have influence, I don't have the ability I need to stand up for myself. You do not look at it this way, but that is the kind of energy that is allowing what's happening on your planet at this time to happen. There is another form of creativity, however, of course, and that is one of them is having babies. This is a powerful form of creativity. If you've ever watched a baby in utero growing, it is a miracle indeed. And that is a demonstration of physical creativity. You also have this idea of self-expression, which is a more elevated form of creativity in the sense that it is coming from a place of connection to spirit. It is coming from a place of love, in the sense that you have words that want to be expressed if you're a poet, and you love them and you want to share them, and so you extend them out into the physical material world in the form of a poem. That is creativity. So what we want to impress upon all of you is how truly powerful you are. And the reason we want you to understand this is because the thoughts that you have, tens of thousands of thoughts each day, powerful emotions surging through your body associated with certain thoughts and certain ideas. This is what is bringing the world into being that you are experiencing day by day by day. So if you want to experience freedom, if you want to experience self-expression and the ability to creatively extend from yourself that which you love, then you need to hold that feeling and you need to entertain ideas and beliefs that are in alignment with that. If you are entertaining ideas and beliefs that are thwarting that creativity, I have no freedom, I can't go anywhere, there's nothing I can do, then you are going to get more experiences that align with those thoughts that you have. So even if you believe that you're not creative, you are being creative by saying that you're not creative, by saying that you can't shift and change your experience. You are being creative. It will appear that there is no change and shift in your experience, but that's because you believe that to be true for you, and so it becomes true for you. This is the law of free will on this planet. You are free to experience whatever you want to experience. And what you believe and act in accord with emotion is going to bring into being that experience. So really, there's no point in trying to change somebody else's mind, because you may very well be speaking a language that they don't understand. This is why we in spirit communicate with many, many different channelers and teachers and beings, so that there are many, many different voices that can access different people where they are. There are many people who would never listen to a broadcast such as this. It would be too far outside their realm of awareness. But there are beings who would listen to a preacher standing in a church, and spirit will speak through that preacher at times, and that is how that person will get their information. So spirit is inherently creative. We have to be very, very creative, especially at this time in your 3D reality, where so many people are indoctrinated into the same beliefs and ideas. But what you are seeing now is this eruption of energy, and what is causing it? It is a society putting a wet blanket, a lockdown order on innately creative and powerful beings. So when you are in lockstep, going to your job and doing your regular daily life, you are unaware of the loss of freedoms that you have been inadvertently participating in. But what has happened with this lockdown is that even the most unconscious beings are beginning to see that there is some reduction in their ability to be free. And this is what you are seeing arising in the masses right now. And you are going to see it increasing, 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 because you are freedom-seeking creative beings made in the image of God. Mm-hmm. Right? He's keeping his answers short and sweet today.
I love it. I love it. And I don't know if people are going to be able to see me now or not. I've been fighting this thing, but anyway, I'm just going to let it be. It's important that they see you. So with this said, we have a ton of people that have raised their hand.
Okay.
So I'm just going to bring one randomly. I guess Jesus will pick through me. So Amanda Adams, let's bring you on and unmute yourself, love, if you would please, so you can ask your question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, lovely to see you. I'm with you every day because I'm doing your Course in Miracles, Tina.
All right.
And been very helpful. So my question for my dear friend Jesus. Hi, Jesus. You're with me all the time too. Thank you so much. I'm doing so good, but I'm still smoking cigarettes. It is an emotional attachment. I really need help with this. I need to stop.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's your question. Help me stop.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What do I need to know?
Okay. What do you need to know? All right. Let's see what Jesus has to say. You are blessed beings indeed. Dear Amanda, you are, and we hate to break this to you, you are perfectly capable of stopping. There is a part of your mind that does not want to stop. And because you are a freedom-seeking being, you will do whatever you decide to do. So when you choose to go towards that cigarette, there is a series of decisions that you are making. The first decision is that the cigarette is going to make me feel better. So the beginning phase of you coming to understand why you're smoking is you must delay the gratification for 5 or 10 minutes and sit down with your journal and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling powerless? Are you feeling confused? If you are not able to access any feelings and your feeling is, I just want to have a cigarette, what you must then do is you must ask yourself, who is the you that wants a cigarette and who is the you that wants to quit? There seem to be two yous in there. And what you are experiencing in that kind of awareness is that you have a split mind. You have a mind that is attached to the physical world. You have a mind that doesn't care how healthy you are. You have a part of your mind that is short-term focused in the sense it wants instant gratification and does not care about the long-term health of your body. Now, you also have a part of your mind that is sane. The first part of that mind that we just described is insane. It does not love you. It does not care for you. And this is what we would call the ego mind, the mind that has come into separation, that has manufactured the body in which you find yourself. And this is what we call your default setting. So your default setting is one of separation, one of not love. So this is a very important thing for you to understand as you are going through the process of understanding your mind. When you understand your mind and how it's working, you will find the determination to quit cigarettes. We guarantee that. So the other part of you, this part of you that's communicating with us now, this part of you that has put her hand up and asked for help, this is the part that is seeking resolution of the problem, that knows that smoking is unhealthy, it's expensive, it's dangerous, it's detrimental, but it's doing something for you. So you have to figure out what it's doing for you. You have to go beneath the form and you have to investigate your feelings. You also have to go into your past and ask yourself, who were you trying to impress? Or what were you trying to accomplish when you first started smoking? This is very, very important because generally speaking, people start smoking for a particular purpose. Our dear one here, she doesn't mind if we share her personal life. Our dear one here started smoking because it made her feel so sick she didn't want to eat food. So her beliefs at that time were that she needed to be thin at all costs. And so the cost of the smoking was a price she was willing to pay. So we want you to go back to the origins of your smoking, and we want you to go back to your family. Did you have people in your house smoking? You must remember that as a small child, you are watching the shenanigans in your family as the only world that exists. The family in which you grow up is demonstrating all the time behaviors and priorities that you as a small girl would have been paying attention to, not necessarily with your conscious mind, but with your unconscious mind. And you will have been born into the family that you were born into because you were a match for them. So these are some of the areas that we would like you to look at. It seems troublesome because you have to think and you have to go beneath the form of the cigarettes, but the cigarette is only the symptom of the problem. It is not the problem. What happens with your body is it becomes habituated to substances, and so if you take away the substance, it gets a little annoyed with you, and that's what you would call a craving. But a craving will not kill you. A craving will not harm you. However, smoking cigarettes will. So when you have a craving, we want you to postpone it for 5 to 10 minutes, and we want you to write. We want you to write down what you're feeling. We want you to write down any memories that come up. If you're angry, we want you to write that down, and then you can have your cigarette. But what's going to happen is, in the delaying of the gratification of this habit, this mind-numbing, cancer-causing habit, in that 10 minutes of writing profusely, you are going to find some relief. And you may very well find that you are not quite as interested in that cigarette as you thought. And what does this tell you? It will tell you that it is spirit speaking through feelings to you. This is how we communicate with you. We do not communicate mostly like this through words. This is an exceptional circumstance. We speak to you through feelings, and your spirit speaks to you through feelings. So if you are having feelings that you are numbing with the cigarette, you are missing out on your consciousness evolution. And this is the kind of prioritizing that we want you to do. Is the cigarette worth not expanding my consciousness? Obviously, you're doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles. Obviously, you want consciousness expansion. You are preventing consciousness expansion by having a cigarette. You are, in fact, proving to yourself that you are not the staunch spiritual practitioner that you call yourself. So here, you must become brutally honest with yourself and saying, I am choosing a cigarette over my spiritual awakening. And we know that that is not what the sane part of your mind wants to do. And as you go through this practice of writing for 10 minutes before each cigarette, what is going to come through are the feelings that are imperative for you to listen to. So why is this happening right now? Well, everyone's feelings are telling them things right now. Those of you that are frustrated with this lockdown and having these feelings arise, those feelings have always been there. You have merely been too busy medicating yourselves with actions or cigarettes or alcohol to listen to them. So if you want to expand your consciousness, delay any substance that you want to use for 10 minutes and write and write and write, and you will find the answer that you are seeking. And in that awareness, you will begin to find the determination to use your free will, which is your most powerful gift here, to use your free will to say no to those cigarettes and yes to the expansion of your consciousness. We thank you for this question, and we will speak to you again at another time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Okay, let's see. We have an interesting question here. It's coming from Heidi DeVore. She says, I am so confused. Should I be out protesting against lockdowns to regain my freedom? I want to go out into the fifth dimension or 5D world for sure. I am wearing a mask when I go out. Is this too submissive? I want to find the way of love and protecting others. I am protecting my 85-year-old mother from getting the virus. Is it a scam and a lie? Should we throw caution to the wind and get together with groups of people?
I think that's a question everyone needs the answer to. Okay.
That's a great question.
You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And what you are feeling is guidance. Every single person has guidance coming to them. Some people are being guided to demonstrate. Other people are being guided to meditate. Some people are being guided to gather with friends. Some people are being guided not to. Each one of you must begin to trust your own guidance that is coming through, because as you know, depending on which pardon the pun, which channel you tune into, you are going to get different information. So if you are waiting for the world to tell you what to do, you are going to be very, very confused. This is something that many in the West have lost touch with, which is their guidance, their intuition. What we would like to tell you is what is driving the behavior that you are confused about. So again, we must keep going back to the same principle, which is your behavior is coming from what you believe to be true about the world. So for example, the mask that you are wearing, you are putting that on because you believe it's helping your mother. Well, of course, if you have that belief, you are going to wear a mask. This being here does not have that belief, so she does not wear a mask. She does not believe in the transmission of sickness through this medium. She understands that those beings that get sick are of a frequency match to sickness. This is not something that this is something that many of you will not like to hear, but that is okay. You are a frequency match to certain things, and those things are going to be drawn to you because of your frequency. Now, if you are afraid of sickness, beneath the form of that idea is that you are weak, that you are not the creator of your reality, both of which are not true. But that belief system is held by many in the world, and that is why you are seeing the behaviors of many in the world. You are seeing this idea of, I'm going to isolate because I've been told to, but you would not isolate if you did not believe what they told you. Now, we are not going to counsel you to go out and meet friends. What we would say is, if you have the desire to go out and meet friends, that is your intuition speaking, that is your guidance speaking. But if that intuition and guidance goes against an indoctrinated belief, or a belief that you have taken into your mind from the tsunami and barrage of information that's coming off mainstream media, then you are going to feel conflicted. And that's what we feel from your question. You're conflicted because you are getting different sources of information. You're getting information from the mainstream media, you're getting information from channeling sessions such as this, and you're getting information from your guidance system, and you're getting information from any person that you talk to. So you have to go to the place that is the clearest, which is your interior guidance system. But for many who have not gone through a mental clarification process, the internal guidance system too is confused, because you have old beliefs that have been indoctrinated into you from your medical system, for example, that sickness has nothing to do with your internal frequency. It only has to do with the germs and the viruses that are out in the world. So you have a very, very complex untangling to do. Every one of you has a very, very complex untangling to do to figure out what it is that you truly believe. Now, this being here is finding it quite easy to maneuver her way through this world so far because of where she lives. But we will say she does not live where she lives by accident. She has been guided to live where she lives from her intuition, from the practice that she has been involved in for some 20 years now. So where you are on the spectrum is no accident. You have all brought yourselves exactly to where you are through your beliefs and your value systems. What we want you to understand is that this intensification of circumstances that you are all going through is showing you your choices front and center. You are unable to avoid them. And that's, of course, what a lot of Westerners do. They're in a constant state of avoidance. So whatever situation you are in, you must go beneath the form of, is this mask submissive? No, you would not be putting that mask on if you did not believe in that mask. So you must go beneath the form of the mask, and you must go to your belief about what masks do. There was a scientist that said putting on a mask to prevent a virus is tantamount to putting up chain link fencing to prevent mosquitoes coming in your yard. The fiber and the fabric of masks that most people are wearing, which are not those high quality medical masks, the weave is too big to keep out anything. So you have to, in this circumstance, not only go to your intuition, but you must go to your logical mind and investigate information about what you're doing. But mainly you must go into your feelings about things. This is where your guidance about your behavior is going to come up. Now, we are going to bring up our dear one's behavior again, because she is demonstrating some of these actions in her life that some of you are confused about. She lives near a park that has been closed. Signs, do not enter, park closed, you will get a ticket. And she walks through that park every single day, has been walking through that park for several weeks now. And that is her demonstration of her belief in freedom. She is not demonstrating in front of the Parliament building. She is not being guided to do that. She is being guided to do this. She is being guided to channel information that helps you untangle the many threads of confusing guidance that you have and that you have to deal with. But what it ultimately comes down to is Western minds have to be trained out of listening to every single idea of every other person that they meet. Because if you do that, you will be confused for your whole life. You must understand that you have guidance from spirit that sees the grander picture, that sees the future, that sees the landscape far, far ahead of where you are. It's like you're in the depths of the thick jungle and you're trying to decide which way to go. Well, you can't see anything, but we can see stuff. We know where this is going. We know what is beneficial to you, and we communicate through your guidance system, which is your feelings and your dreams and your passions. So we want you to align yourself with that which feels right for you. But if you have not gone through a clarification process, such as the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and if you are listening to mainstream media, which is telling you only one facet of a multifaceted story, then you are going to be feeling disempowered. You are going to be feeling fearful. But you must come to see that there are greater forces at play here than the physical. The spiritual is at work here. There are untold numbers of non-physical beings guiding you through this process. And what we are guiding you towards is your internal compass. That compass that says, I know this is right. That compass that says, I'm going to do this. That doesn't feel right to me. And of course, it is different for each of you, because each of you have different karmic histories. Each of you have different spiritual goals. This is why you must not judge what others are doing. You must only listen to your own inner guidance. But your own inner guidance must be clarified by doing a mind training program like A Course in Miracles, or some spiritual practice that is led by a mentor that you approve of and who has qualities that you admire and would like to embody in yourself, because you have been in a mind training program. It is called Western media. It is called your school systems. It is called your government programs. They are mind training programs. Do not doubt it. So you must, dear one, cultivate your own guidance. You must turn off the mainstream media, turn off any other media, and look at your actual life. What's happening in your living room? Where do you have freedom to go? Where can you walk? Begin to calm down your nervous system, which is in high fight or flight. As we mentioned before, when you are in fight or flight, you make poor long-term decisions. You make short-term decisions that may not be in your best interest, because they are short-term survival instincts. Once you calm down, start to breathe, live in the life that you are actually living in, not the life that is shown on the TV screen, then you are going to say, what is actually happening here? Is anybody sick that I know? Do I feel sick? Does my mother feel sick? And then you can begin to make decisions once you have calmed down. It is the calming down process that we need to give you clear guidance. It is the calming down process that raises your frequency up out of fight or flight, where you can get information from your guides and teachers who are with you all the time, yet they cannot get through to you when you are agitated, when you are constantly scrambling from too much information. So calm down, turn off the sources of information that are giving you fearful ideas and implanting fearful beliefs. They will not serve you. They will not keep you alive in that sense. Fear doesn't keep you alive. The only time fear is appropriate is if you have imminent danger that is going to threaten you. If something is not in your house and going to hit you over the head with a brick, it is not imminent danger. So begin to act as if your house is safe. Begin to act as if your family is safe. Begin to act as if your walk to the park each day is safe, and it will be so.
Okay. We'll give you some time to rest your voice. Tina, I hope that that answer helps a lot of people. It helps me because I have been as conforming as they come my whole life. And lately I have this fire lit up in me that is just, woo, get up and go, girlfriend. Okay, so I think it would be good to bring somebody on to ask their question. Carlos Fernandez, if you are still listening, let me see if I can bring you on. Okay, Carlos, are you there?
Oh, Carlos, are you
Yes.
there? Hi,
Yes.
Carlos.
I hear you now.
Oh, yes, I'm here. Thank you very much for your. I appreciate. Why you ask, man? Oh my God. Oh,
Just breathe, Carlos. It's going to be okay. Just breathe.
oh, thank you. Okay. Oh. My question is why I have a my question is why I am want to be alone or still because most of my I live it by myself
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'm running away from my own family.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you want to be alone all the time, and it
Yeah.
seems a bit extreme, is what you're thinking.
Yeah. Like subconsciously, being a work, I always like I want to be closer for some reason. I always end up far away from a family or from a friend or from us, just like I want to live in solitude.
Okay.
But I don't know why, but it's something like that. Thank you very.
Are you happy alone?
I feel painful. I don't know why, but it is like I will separate like a two separate mind. Like one part of my mind want to be with my family, but one
Mm-hmm.
self want to be in solitude and just be peaceful.
Okay. All right.
So, so yeah.
You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And dear Carlos, you are experiencing the split mind. You are getting two separate streams of information, and you are getting two separate experiences that are giving you a contrast so that you can make some decisions. In this dualistic world, everything comes to you in the form of contrasting experiences. So when you are hungry, you enjoy a meal more than when you are not hungry. So that's an experience of one extreme causing you to enjoy another extreme more intensively because they're so different. So what happens in this world, as you know, we call this a world of separation. The separation mechanism is the default setting. The separation mechanism is what is manifested in your individual body. So you have a physical demonstration that you are alone, that you are an individual. And this seems to be very, very strong evidence that you are not connected to other people. But what's happening within your consciousness right now is some confusion, because the truth of the matter is human beings are very much pack animals. Human beings would never have survived prior to we would say agriculture, the Industrial Revolution, if they did not work together, they did not cooperate. So it is in fact human cooperation that has provided humanity with its incredible survival rate. So if you put a little child out in the woods by itself and say, you know, you're going to have to look after yourself, it's not going to survive very long. So your very survival is dependent on other beings. Your very survival was dependent on your parents. Your very survival for many, many years was dependent upon the pack in which you found yourself. But what happens as the individualism arises more and more as you become an adult is that the individual wants to have new experiences, and that is natural. That is your spirit speaking to you. Your spirit wants to have other experiences other than the family. So what we want you to say is that there is really nothing wrong with wanting to separate from your family to create a new life. because that is your self-expression coming through. If everybody just stayed at home with their families and repeated what their families did, there would be no evolution, there would be no growth, there would be no consciousness expansion. You would all be exact carbon copies of your parents. What a terrifying idea that is. So we want you to be excited that you would like to have a different life than your family. But what we want you to understand is that they are not a threat to your individual life unless you see them as a threat to your individual life. What the other thing that you are experiencing is that there are unresolved family beliefs that surface when you are around your family. So the experience you're having is seeming peace, but it's not coming from within you, it's coming from the circumstances in which you are putting yourself. So you're isolating yourself, eliminating any relational experiences, and therefore you are not being triggered. So you seem to have peace, but in actual fact, what you have is isolation. Peace is something that is internally generated and is there whether or not you are around other people. So as part of your consciousness expansion, you are coming to see that there are two Carloses. There's one that would like to see his family, and there's one that would like to not see his family. So what we would suggest you do is that you begin to imagine seeing your family. And in this meditation that we're suggesting, we would say, take yourself to your bedroom, lay on the bed, or sit up on the bed so you don't fall asleep. And we would like you to imagine going to see your family. And beside you, you can have a little notebook. And in that notebook, we would like you to, as you're going through this imaginary journey, pretending that you are going to see your family, and we would say, do it in great detail. Imagine yourself getting dressed to go and see your family. Let's say you're imagining going to see your family at a Sunday dinner, for example. Imagine yourself getting dressed. What are you wearing? Why are you wearing that? Are you wearing that to please somebody? Envision yourself taking something to the dinner. Are you taking a bottle of wine, or are you taking some food that you've picked up at the supermarket, or did you make something yourself? Why did you take what you're taking? And your ego will reveal itself. As you're doing this meditation, your ego will tell you all of the stories that you have about your family. Well, I better put this shirt and tie on because my mother will be very upset with me if I come not dressed in a smart way, or whatever the story is. It will reveal itself. And as you write these little stories down, as you're doing the meditation, you can just write these stories down. And as you go through the entire meditation, going to the dinner, the family being there, your brothers and sisters being there, whoever's in your family being there, and let those stories come out as you're doing this meditation, you will have a long list of all the reasons why you don't want to see your family. These are your judgments about your family. These are the things that you believe to be true about your family. The list of all of those reasonings, those rationales that popped up as you were driving to your family in that meditation. Oh, I better not be late because Uncle Bob will be mad at me, or he'll already be drunk by the time I get there if I'm late. Whatever it is that you write down, that list is in your mind. It is not in them. It is in your mind. And that is the list of reasons why you don't want to see your family. That is going to give you a lot of information with which to work. And you may see in there some resentments. You may see in there the fact that you're too concerned what other people think about you. You may see in there all of these sentences, these thoughts, but they're coming from beliefs that are in your mind. They're not anywhere else. They're coming up out of your mind as you're challenging yourself by doing this meditation. So that is how you find what's going on. All of those little stories that come up are going to be the reasons you don't want to go and see your family. And that then becomes your conscious work. You bring these excuses up and you go, oh, okay, I'm scared of my mother. I'm scared of her anger. This is something that I need to work on. Well, how do you work on that? You begin to do meditations where you are having positive conversations with your mother. And in doing that meditation, you will get another long list of things. My mother does this, my mother believes that, I can't do that because of my mum. You are going then to see another list of reasons why you have resentments with your mother. This is how all of you can figure out what's going on when you have a circumstance that you don't want to go to, but that you feel you should go to. So this is about understanding your own mind. It is always about understanding your own mind. Remember, nothing that you're experiencing inside your own mind is coming from someone, somewhere else, or someone else. It is your beliefs about reality, and that is what is causing you your pain and your confusion. As you come to see what's residing in your mind, whether it be unloving beliefs or thoughts and ideas or old traumas that have caused you to be afraid, those things you bring up, you put on the table, and they become your project for a little while. So for example, if you are afraid of your mother and her reactions, you might say in your prayers, please help me understand why I'm so afraid of my mother. You may have a dream, you may have a memory. You can begin to write these things out, and you come to understand, oh, I'm bringing the past with me. And all of these stories are the past coming into the present moment and contaminating the present moment. Remember, for you to create your future, you do it here in this present moment by the frequencies that you hold in this present moment. So if you are bringing the past into this moment when you're going to dinner with your family, you are going to keep recreating the same thing because you have contaminated the present moment. So we say to you, if you have a feeling to live by yourself and be alone, and that makes you happy, do that until it doesn't make you happy anymore. If you begin to feel lonely and you miss your family, and sometimes that's a good place to get to, it's okay to be by yourself long enough to miss your family. But then when you go to your family and you have done these exercises, you are going to be much better prepared mentally and emotionally to deal with your stuff as it relates to the family, because it's all your stuff that you're feeling. You're not feeling their stuff, you're feeling your stuff. So be alone until you miss them. And if you miss them, then you can phone them and see how that goes. You can Skype them, see how that goes. And then if you get to the point where you actually feel the feeling to go and see them, if you've done these exercises, you are going to know what's in your mind. You're going to understand the traumas that you've had in the past, or the judgments that you have felt. But the truth of the matter is, you are only experiencing your own mind. You are not experiencing your family as such, but your beliefs about your family. As you clarify your mind using these kinds of techniques, there will come a point when you can go to your family. You won't be threatened by them. They won't upset you. You will merely observe their behavior and go, oh, there it is. There's that judgment. There's that anger. There's Uncle Bob getting drunk. He's always so consistent. I can guarantee he'll do it every family dinner. Why am I upset about it? That's his thing. You do not have to let it impinge upon you. But if you are feeling too lonely, then you have to ask yourself, why do I choose to be alone all the time? What is it that I'm avoiding? Because the hermit often can be somebody who is so distressed by the world that they cannot tolerate it. There are other hermits that are so at peace that they don't need the world. So you cannot judge your hermetic nature just by the behavior. You have to look at what's going on underneath the form, because the form can be the same. You can live alone and be happy. You can live alone and be miserable. You can be with your family and be happy. You can be with your family and be miserable. Do not judge the behavior, but go beneath the form and find out what you believe to be true about reality. All right, hopefully that was helpful, Carlos.
Wow.
Okay, this is we're at 12. We're going to do one more question, Carol.
Okay.
It goes so fast. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it really does. Okay. There is a question that has gained a lot of momentum. So here it comes, Tina.
All right.
Are QAnon, this comes from Ben Irwin, are QAnon and Trump really taking down the cabal, quote unquote, as they claim, or are they trying to get people roped into a technocracy?
Oh. Sometimes Jesus doesn't give you the answers you want, as we know. Okay, let's see what he has to say. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And what we would like to say to you is we do not want you to wait for someone to rescue you. What we are doing by these teachings is we are bringing forth the truth that you create your own reality. We go back to what we said earlier, which is somebody who's sitting next to you can have a completely different experience of the same environment. What we would like you to do is to ask yourself, where are you seeking freedom? Where are you refusing to participate in cabal activities, as you call them? So, for example, if you are if you well understand that your children are going to school systems that are dumbing them down and taking away their creativity and teaching regimentation, but you send your children to school because, well, that's what everybody does, you are participating in this system. Now, there are beings that will say, well, I can't not send my child to school because I have to go to work, I have to pay my mortgage, on and on. We want you all to understand that it does not matter why you are doing what you are doing or the justification that you used for doing what you're doing. You must look at the fact that the systems on your planet survive because you all participate in them. Now, Trump is what we call a wild card. He is unpredictable. He is inexperienced in some aspects of things that he is encountering at this time. And this is what you're beginning to see. You're beginning to see him go from what appears to be extreme independence, choosing what he wants to do. At this point, he is actually being overwhelmed by the orchestration, the global orchestration that's happening. We want you to understand that the global orchestration that is happening is what we would call a desperate white-knuckling attempt to maintain control and power over humans that are evolving. That is the ultimate demonstration that's happening here. So, but because of the intensity of that intent, that is to gain power over many beings. Now, some of you would say, Jesus would never say this, but in my lifetime, in my incarnation on the earth plane, you must remember that I was living in an occupied territory. I was living in a territory that was under the control of the powers that be at that time, which were the Roman legions and the Roman emperors. And the experience that I had on the ground in that time and place is very reminiscent of what you are going through now. The dualistic nature of the battleground is always extremely uncomfortable for you to be in. So those of you that are Course in Miracles students will understand this. If you are in the battleground, that means that you are on the lower realms of 3D or the middle levels of 3D. That means that you are believing in the physical world. That means that you're believing in individuals. That means you believe in sickness and death. That means you believe in the government's power to hurt you. That means you do not believe that you are a created being. It means that you believe that you are a victim of the world you see. If you are in that level of thinking and frequency, you are not going to be happy, and you are not going to be powerfully demonstrating your ability to transform the world. One person can transform the world. Just look at somebody like Hitler or Gandhi. They each had different mandates, but they were powerful. Those were beings who were exercising their God-given power. One was for dark, one was for light. But they were showing you the power of one. You must understand that you are no less powerful than a Gandhi. You are no less powerful than a Hitler. Every single one of you have this God-given ability to influence the world. So when you are looking to other humans to save you, you are abdicating from that power. What we would like you to do is to send love to President Trump, and we understand that many of you will say that that is not possible. You do not like him. He is bad. He is doing all of these things. What we want you to understand is that he actually needs support now, which will come energetically from you sending feelings of love. He needs support because of the onslaught that is coming his way from these global systems of power at this time. So the media that you have in North America, we are specifically speaking at North America at this time, although these same characterizations do travel around the world, is that he is a buffoon. We will tell you he is playing the buffoon a lot of the time. He is pretending to be ignorant. He is pretending to be aggressive. He is working behind the scenes to dismantle many things, but what's happening now is something has popped up that was unexpected, that was powerfully orchestrated and implemented, and he is having to do his very best to cope with the situation without destroying his ability to continue the work that he has started on this earth plane. Now, we understand that many liberal beings will not like what we have just said, and that is okay. You're free to judge or not judge whatever you wish, but we want you to understand, each of you, that the power you are seeking is within you. The power that you are seeking is not going to save you from without. The orchestration, the global orchestration that you are witnessing here proves something to you. It proves that there is a global governance system. Most of you have not been aware of that. You have believed that each different nationality has its own rules, has its own laws. What you are seeing now, evidenced by this global experience, is that there is a global government at play. We want you to really think about what this means. This means that you think that your individual countries are ruled by individual leaders, and that your vote has brought those individual leaders into those positions of power. What you are witnessing now is that that is not so, that there is a governmental level above your national boundaries. This is very, very important for you to begin to think about and accept. This is new information to most of you. This is new information to most of you who have believed that you are living in a sovereign country. But what you are beginning to witness now is that your country is no different than many, many other countries that are being controlled by a global organization. What does this mean? This means that your world that you have been taught about in school isn't true. This means a lot of things, and this is going to cause some upset, as we mentioned in answering one of the earlier questions. When you get a new piece of information that is that tends to prove that something that you previously believed for many decades is not true, your first instinct is to attack the messenger and to delete that message from your mind, because it's going to cause upset and agitation. What we want you to understand is that the evidence is out there for you. There is a global government playing Risk. You know that board game many of you grew up with, where you try to take over the world. Well, that is what is going on now. The only way that anyone can take over the world is if all of you comply, if all of you cave, if all of you wait for somebody to rescue you. You must cultivate your sovereign nature every single day. You must master your minds every single day, refusing to buy into fear-mongering. Any negative emotion that you have, any feeling of concern that you have, is a demonstration of wavering belief. And it is your duty as evolving humans going through this amazing ascension process, it is your duty to ask yourself, what belief is wavering here? That is what's going to be going on a lot in the next month or two. And this is one of the reasons that we inspired this being to do this Q&A is that all of your beliefs are going to be rushing to the surface, triggered by exceptional circumstances, and you are going to be able to come to understand your mind much more deeply. You are going to be able to understand what you've been taught and what you believe much more deeply as new information comes. But we want you to remember that new information that is disturbing will initially be refused, will initially be deleted, because the mind does not want to be upset. It wants to be at peace. It wants to be comfortable. It wants to be complacent. And this is why many of you have these behaviors that keep you pacified throughout your evening time, so that you do not think, so that you do not have to deal with the fact that you don't like your job, or you don't like your partner anymore, or you don't like where you live anymore. You must begin to free your minds to allow them to express themselves to you, because it is in understanding your mind and in belief and understanding what you believe to be true and understanding your desires, because this is what's coming up in a lot of you. You're coming up with desires to move, to change, to do something different. And this is the great gift of this lockdown. You are being forced through a narrow, we say it's like being forced through the narrow part of a funnel. You are coming under a lot of pressure now. And what does pressure do? It agitates you and it brings up to the surface that which you need to see. So for those of you that are waiting for the alliance and Trump to free you all from the prisons in which you find yourself, that is not going to happen in the way that you think. It is going to happen in the way that you make it happen. Support the idea of freedom, support the idea of your own personal sovereignty, support the idea of health, support the idea of love, and know that your guidance is true for you. Your guidance is going to lead you to things over the next few months that you may be very, very surprised at. Our dear one, for example, was actually looking at ranch real estate in remote locations, something she swore she would never do, and there she is looking at it. What does that mean? It means something to her that she is actually looking at removing herself from urban society to an even greater degree than she has. Is she worried about this? No. Is she frightened about this? No. She knows that guidance is guidance. She knows that there are messages coming to her all the time which are giving her the heads up and the encouragement to do certain things that are right for her. You must listen to your own guidance and do the things that are right for you. And each of you are being inspired. Each of you are being pushed. Each of you are being messaged by spirit, your guides and teachers, to push you in the direction that is right for you. But what that guidance is going to come up against is your conditioning. It is the stories of your society, that the cultural training, the school training, your family's training, the television's training, the government's training. Those things have been systematically indoctrinated into you, and you are now getting new information, and this is going to get more and more intense. So take yourself off mainstream media. We say it again, take yourself off mainstream media. Research multiple other different sources of information that are coming your way, whether it's other channelers, this channeling, other disseminators of information that will come your way. Remember, you are going to attract to you information that is of a like frequency. If you do not like the information that's coming your way, raise your frequency and begin to ask for solutions to come your way. You will never solve the problem at the level of frequency at which it was created. You must rise above the battleground. So you are conditioned in your society to expect the cavalry to gallop over the hill to rescue you. This is something that happens in all of your movies. It gets really dark, it gets really bad, and then the hero comes to rescue. We want you to be the heroes. We want you to be the ones that are envisioning the solution. We want you to be the ones that are empowering yourselves and encouraging yourselves daily to see yourselves as strong, see yourselves as resilient, see yourselves as creative, and ask Spirit to bring you solutions, ask Spirit to guide you, ask Spirit. We have to be given permission to connect with you. We have to be given permission to converse with you. It is not something that we will impose upon you. So remove any barriers that you have to communication. If you want communication, if you don't want us to communicate with you, then you're going to have to figure it out yourself. But the veil is thinning as the frequencies increase on your planet, as the pressure cooker gets hotter and hotter. The veil is thinning and the information is much more easy to get hold of, spiritual information, guidance. So we want you to see yourself as powerful as some of these great heroes that you look back through your histories. They were people just like you. They were people that were guided. They were people that were inspired. They were people that were connected to their teachers and guides, and they were courageous. So see yourself that way. Begin to see yourself improving in health, improving in resilience, improving in connection, and you will begin to understand what we are speaking about here. As more and more of you see yourselves this way, there will be an uprising of such magnitude that you will be shocked indeed. You will begin to see humanity expressing its divine nature, humanity not going to war, but going to peace, going to love, going to gatherings that are going to be very, very impressive in their size and in their strength. And you are going to see humanity returning to its natural state, which is that of love, that of community, that of working together to bring about a future that is good for everyone, whether you are Black, white, American, African, it doesn't matter. There is an equalizing going on, but the equalizing right now is taking place within you. It's taking place within your hearts and within your minds. So pay attention to what you're thinking. Pay attention to what you're ingesting, whether it be the food you're ingesting or the messages you are ingesting. You are powerful creators, but you must begin to act as powerful creators to see that playing out on your plane at this time. I want to thank you all for coming to this format, for coming to this conversation, and we will be doing this again in a couple of weeks. Our dear one enjoys this tremendously. She feels invigorated, she feels happy, just as we do. We are permeating her spirit at this time, and she understands that this is her work. So she has stepped up in courage to do her work. Step up in courage to do your work, whatever it is that you know is your path through this, at times, confusing maze. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will speak to you again soon.
Wow. Well,
Woohoo!
you was on a roll there.
It was. That's awesome. I feel great.
Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you so much, Tina. I just want to let you know that there's a lot of love being sent to Trump right now on the.
Oh, I'm sure he needs it.
I
wouldn't want that job.
He needs it, and as a lot of people are saying there, that you send him love doesn't mean that you agree with him wholeheartedly.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It just means that you are staying on the love.
Well, the thing to remember, Jesus teaches in A Course in Miracles, there are only two things. There's a call for love or an act of love. So love is always the solution. If you see somebody who you think is unloving, send them love. That's what they need. So it's very simple. Love is always the solution.
Yes. So I want to let everybody know that we got hundreds of questions in. Obviously, not all of them could be answered today. Hopefully, indirectly, some of your questions got answered. But Tina does have a membership community where there are 2 live streams a month where questions for the members are always answered. So we will be sending a link to you if you're interested in taking a look. There's a 3-day free trial always if you want to take a look at the community and see if you're aligned with it. And in that email that you will receive, you will also receive a link to this recording. So,
and I just want to mention in the Mighty Networks platform, we have over 100 live streams recorded there that are not posted anywhere else on YouTube. So a conversation such as this, there are 100 now that you can dive into if you're curious about hundreds of questions that Jesus and Ananda have answered our members. So thank you all for joining us. Is there anything else, Carol?
Well, I think this is it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for co-hosting.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.